And you're asking, like, what do we do about
is you sign a contract with someone.
So real quick, before you did that, did you
more than 30 years. I got my real estate license in the
and your origin story?
Is that he made an age joke the last time we were. I'm gonna use that Kuka.
You know, I'm a little more strict with what I'm looking at.
Hey everyone out there in YouTube land and our Facebook page on Metro Detroit Off-Market Real Estate Group. I want to say thank you for joining us. If you're watching right now live, by all means, hit in the chat and ask your questions as we go. All right, you will be a part of the show. So with that being said, what we're going to do is I'm introducing Dexter B. Jenkins. I met him at the Detroit Real Estate Expo. My God, I'm going to tell you right now, he is a wealth of knowledge, awesome guy. And, you know, he has a lot of, you know, tips and tricks and just life experiences that he can share with us so that we can make sure that we don't do those mistakes. At least try not to anyways. So with that being said, let me bring out Dexter. Dexter, how are you doing?
What's up, my man? Good to see you. I'm glad to be excited to be here tonight and, you know, hang out with your tribe.
Awesome. So I'm very happy to have you here. So, you know, with that being said, have you ever been to Detroit since the Detroit Real Estate Expo?
No. It was the first time that I had ever been to Detroit. I've been to a lot of places because I was a basketball player. I played in college. Okay. You know, we would travel to different places. So Michigan. Yeah. I think I may have gone to Michigan once or twice, but I've never been to Detroit. And so I was super excited.
Got it.
About going. Actually, I had my second time because my publicist, Pam Perry, lives in Detroit. So she did a workshop for us the back end of last year. So that was, I'm thinking that was my second time, but it was my first time really going downtown and driving around and getting a sense of what was going on. You know, so my son and I went by where the Lions play and, you know, just drove around. So it was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. So, and that's the thing, like, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but but there was one story that you said at the Detroit Expo that, at the Detroit Expo that he's like, yeah, this is the first time I came through here. And like, I'm going to tell, let me have you tell the story about you driving around Detroit and trying to find some deals or something like that. So I'll let you tell that story, not me. I don't want to be.
Well, because you know what I was doing. I mean, any city I go to, I just like to drive and get a sense of what it's like. You know, so we stayed in Southfield. Okay. Let me drive in and see exactly where the hotel is and all that, so I'm not fumbling for tomorrow morning. And so we did that. And so Cameron, my son, he said, Dad, I need a couple things from CVS. I said, okay. So we were downtown, and at that weekend, if you remember, Randy, it was a car race. The Grand Prix was there.
Grand Prix.
So, I mean, everything was blocked off, so we had to drive all around and do different things. And so we ended up driving, and what I like to do is drive downtown and then gradually go out. And so, you know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes out from downtown, we just start looking at all these houses that were boarded up, burnt up, and all that. And so what I did was I took a couple of pictures of them, and I jacked up the presentation. But I was saying, my point was that a lot of times, because you have lived in a place for so long, you don't see opportunity. And so you know, I don't know that because I haven't spent enough time in your market, but I'm like, look, these are houses and neighborhoods that, you know, need housing. And if downtown and everything that I'm seeing, Randy, is this. Renovate. I would say a renaissance starts downtown and it gradually moves its way out. So if we could get ahead of the curve, say, okay, this is 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 10 or 15 minutes away from the epicenter of everything. We should buy here and fix up here because eventually it's going to be valuable.
Most definitely. So it was crazy because the way you said it was, you're like, I was out there taking some pictures and Man, I didn't know what I was going to do. Hurry up, take some pictures, or hurry up, get in the car.
yeah. Because I was saying, I don't know what neighborhood this is. I'm a city kid. There's certain hoods you didn't go into.
Yep.
And so I just took it right quick, like, not that I was scared, but I was just like, hey, I don't know what is what, and it was still stuff like that.
There's certain hoods that you don't go to here too.
Yeah.
So if you do go, you go strapped. If you do go, you go strapped. Like
yeah. So. But I'm just trying to illustrate, that there's opportunity everywhere, and I think a lot of times because of what we'll get to in a minute, our minds are closed up, because I talk a lot about mindset. I believe the strategies are very easy. So whether you wholesale, fix and flip, commercial, multi-family, those are strategies. But it's really the mindset that many people need to develop, including myself, that will allow me to build wealth. And so, my first point when I talk to you guys is, listen, we've got to decide to be wealthy. And I think a lot of times people don't make that decision. I want to be comfortable. I want to do this. Like, no, you got to decide to be wealthy. I just read a LinkedIn post before I got on what's it called? You got on the show.
Right
now in Boston, they said. Now I don't know what Detroit would be. They said in Boston that a person who makes minimum wage would have to work 104 hours to pay for a 1-bedroom apartment. So let that sink in. There's only 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
So a person who would want a 1-bedroom apartment in Boston would have to work 104 hours to qualify for that. And so my point being is, obviously, we want to build affordable housing and all that. But my second point is this: hey, man, you can't afford not to make the decision to go for it.
Most definitely. It is a total mindset. You have to decide to be wealthy.
Right.
If you don't decide to be wealthy, I'm sorry, but it's just, you're going to limit yourself. Okay.
Right.
As soon as you limit yourself, you put ceilings on you.
Right.
As soon as you put ceilings, then you're going to come right up to that ceiling, and then you're just going to hang there.
Yeah. Well, because I think, look at a town like yours. There was a time where, because manufacturing was big and all that, where you could have a decent job and have a decent house, and not necessarily have to aim to make that much money per se, but those times have changed. And so there's a line being drawn between the have and have nots. Now the thing I like about real estate is that I think that a lot more people can become wealthy in real estate if they get the right mindset, learn some strategies. And so that's why I like what you're doing, is really trying to enlighten people on the different strategies and really expose them to different people in the industry. So whether it's me or other folks that I've seen on your show, you're trying to give them different perspectives, and so that hopefully they can latch on to one strategy or two strategies and have that help them take them on the road.
Most definitely. And for anybody who is watching, just to let you know, put your questions in the chat and we will answer them. So with that being said, tell me a little bit how you got started in real estate in general. So, tell me, obviously you weren't born out of the womb real estate. Okay, for sale sign, investor.
Right.
Come out of your mommy's woo-ha and be like, for sale.
Yeah, no, that wasn't it. It was. I will say I grew up around it. My dad was is a barber, and he's always owned real estate. And so the house I grew up in was a 2-family. He had the barber. The barbershop had a commercial property on the first floor, and then it had 3 units on top of it, and then he had 4 garages. And so in many respects, I've always grown around it. But then what happened was, when my wife and I bought our first 3-family in Dorchester in 1998, I guess that was my first buy. But I really didn't start thinking about becoming an investor and using it as a wealth creation tool until really about 2016 is when we got started. And so, there were a couple of people in my church who had just went through this course, and they were on their first flip. So I'm reading through my emails one day, and I was like, hold up, this couple, because the couple has a very distinct name. Their last name is Forts, F-O-R-T-S. I'm like, hold up, there could be only but one Forts. And so when I saw them, I was like, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it. And so that sort of got me started. So I went through the same training program they went through. called Brownstone Training and Development. So I went through that, and then my wife and I, have been engaged ever since. So 2016, 2017 is when we really got engaged and got started.
Awesome. So when you got started, 2016, 2017, right?
Right.
What was your strategy, and how did you come across that strategy?
Yeah, well, we were fixing and flipping. It still predominantly do that. So the program was you paid X amount of dollars, and then you shadowed somebody for, I think it was 8 months, I think. And then if you wanted to do a second deal, they would fund it and sort of watch it. And so the first 2 deals that we got involved in, they funded and sort of watched us do our thing. And then after that, we were on our own, which, we were fine to do. But
so was this a course or like a program that who was this put on by?
It was a course, so it was it was mostly, we had some classroom stuff, but it was really hands-on, so they gave you a project manager and you really shadowed him, because the only way to learn this business, Randy, is to do it. You can read a book and now the books and things are good for a concept's sake.
Yes.
But as far as you actually doing it, I always tell people, if you want to, how do you deal with a contractor? You have to deal with a contractor. How do you do a flip? You have to do a flip. So there's just some things you can't learn in the book. This is a very hands-on business. Yep. And so, they allowed us to be hands-on without putting out a lot of money up front. And then, and so what happened was, as we became more comfortable and recognized that we had a big brother and a big sister behind us, we were able to go forward.
So, was it worth it? First off, how much did you invest into that program?
Yeah, initially it was $25,000.
Holy!
And it was worth.
I think I need some water on that.
Now, that was a program that we got into. Now, I know some people whose programs are low as $5,000, $7,000.
Yeah.
But but for us, that's what we felt, that we felt comfortable with them. And then we had actually 2 people I knew had gone through the program, so I was able to run it by them and get a sense of what they thought about it. And then after that, we've been all in. But whether it's 25,000 or 5,000 or 2,000, people have to make an investment in themselves. And
most definitely.
I think a lot of times people run away from that. You think about how much money are we willing to pay for college? We'll pay hundreds of thousands of dollars without the guarantee of us having any income coming out on the side. Now, I knew that if I paid $25,000, number one, I was going to pay attention, and number 2, I was going to make some money out this thing. And so, and this is a message to anybody out there: mentors help you speed up your success, because you can spend a lot of time out there trying to figure it out on your own, and then you're spinning your wheels, and most of the time you'll become discouraged and quit. But a mentor, whether it's paid or unpaid, so sometimes it's money, sometimes you can do things for people where you can fill in the gaps where maybe there's some some things you know how to do, they don't know how to do, but you can help them and they can help you, and so they can speed up your success.
Right. Most definitely. Victor Bishops asked, what was the name of the program?
No, Victor. It was a Brownstone Training and Development.
Brownstone Training and Development.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the thing is that I got to reiterate, there's a lot of people out there who say, there's these gurus out there, I don't want to purchase their courses and this and that. In my opinion, everyone has a bad stigma of courses and mentorship and this and that. If it's a good course, if it's a good mentorship, it is 100% worth putting your money into it. Look at real reviews, look at real people who've gone through it and talk with them. But you have to invest in yourself. The biggest thing that you're doing from that is you're taking the time away from all their experience. You're allowing them to teach it to you, and now you're basically taking their time and experience and shortening it with you.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room.